For anyone that has been following tech news, Apple just announced their latest iPhones, and they are awesome. This has gotten me thinking about this, the old iPhone 5S from 2013. Yes, I still have this device, and it was actually my daily driver up until last year. The only reason I bought this iPhone 6s Plus was I wanted a larger screen. So let's see if this old phone is still functional 5 years after it was released. Let's examine the exterior of the 5S. Personally, I still really like the exterior of this device. The 4-inch glass screen is still elegant, and this metal back really makes this phone feel modern. Being only 4 inches though, this phone sports the lowest resolution of any modern iPhone. Of course, this was a Retina display, and even today, it still has wonderful color reproduction. It has a down-firing speaker and a headphone jack for audio playback. Yes, I said headphone jack. Those were the days of headphone jacks. We can see Apple's proprietary lightning connector in the middle of the speaker and headphone jack. But the nicest feature of this phone is the fingerprint reader. This was the first iPhone that had this feature. Although this wasn't the first phone that had this feature, it was the first one from Apple, thus making the fingerprint readers cool. But being as this was the first implementation of this kind of sensor, it's definitely showing its age. Shooting with slow-mo, we can see that the fingerprint sensor takes a little longer to unlock the phone. Performance-wise, the phone is holding up pretty well. Once unlocked, the 5S feels snappy with no noticeable lag. Where it does show its age is in the camera. It can only shoot HD video at 1080p with 30 frames per second, or slow-mo video at 120 frames per second with a resolution of only 720. Where modern iPhones can shoot 4K video and 1080p video for slow-mo. As for cellular service, it still makes phone calls and sends text messages. It does connect to LTE cellular data, so you'll be able to send and receive messages with Apple's iMessages or any other of your favorite messaging apps. It has both 2.4 and 5 GHz N wireless connectivity with Bluetooth 4.0. However, due to its age, it maxes out at about 75 megabits per second. And if you are using a CDMA carrier like Verizon or Sprint in the USA, you won't be able to use the internet while making a phone call. Some modern features like Lift to Wake, Force Touch, or Apple Pay unfortunately won't work on this phone. It's a little outdated to use these features. Memory options for the iPhone 5S allowed purchasing the phone with as much as 64 gigabytes of memory. Depending on your use, that's definitely enough storage for apps, music, and pictures. But now we have to answer the question, is this phone still good in 2018 and beyond? Apple will continue to support this phone with the latest version of iOS, and even promises a slight bump in performance. So if someone doesn't want to update their phone, they have handed this phone down to someone else, or they would like another iDevice for music, the phone is still good for at least one more year of OS updates from Apple. I don't see myself getting rid of this phone anytime soon. This is unfortunate news, but good news for this old iPhone. A buddy of mine recently had his phone and tablet stolen. Thankfully, someone bought him a new tablet, so he isn't without a computer. But being on a fixed income, buying a new phone was too expensive for him. So I have decided to donate the 5S to him. Let's hear his thoughts about this device.
My phone got stolen. I got a new one.
That's good. Now elaborate a little bit more.
I lost my phone. Actually, it was stolen from me while I was having coffee, along with the other precious items in my backpack. What was I to do? Oh, woe is me, thought self to I. Then, in conversation with a friend, I got the offer of an older version of an iPhone. Now, this was new to me, and I was reluctant to use it because it's an old fart. This was something that I was not experienced with, so there was a learning curve involved. But nonetheless, I began to use it. I began to enjoy it. I began to enjoy it enough to change my identity completely from an old fart to someone who joined the new generation of cellular phone service user.
So there you have it. The 5-year-old iPhone 5S is still a great device. I would have kept it and used it for media playback or as a second camera if a friend hadn't needed it more than me. But alas, it is now in better hands, where it will get more use and help someone else stay in communication. I hope you learned something and enjoyed watching this video today.